Hey guys, what's going on? It's Vic here, back with another Madden 20 video. In today's episode, we're obviously going to be rebuilding the Cleveland Browns, but this is a fantasy draft, of course, because I'm running out of ideas for rebuilds because I've kind of done all the teams, though Cam Newton did just get signed to the Patriots, so stay tuned for that. I'll probably post that tomorrow. Cam Newton on the Patriots. I'm pretty sure I already recorded that, so yeah, hint, hint, it doesn't go very well for Cam Newton, so... yeah, apart from spoiling my Cam Newton series, apart from that, it is time to get into the draft. And here we are with our first pick, Khalil Mack attack, 97 overall superstar X Factor, pick 19. Next, we have our QB, Kyler Murray. He most likely has superstar development at pick number 46, 76 overall, most likely superstar development. Next, we have Travis Kelce here. 90 overall superstar X Factor tight end. Offense wins championships, guys. Remember that. Next, we have Joe Mixon here. 87 overall superstar development. And again, I'm just going all out. I want to see if it works better in Madden simulation than defense. Next, we have David DeCastro, right guard, superstar development. Picked him out 147, 86 overall. Next, we have Ali Marpet, our left guard, 86 overall star development. Still a great pick, continuing to beef up the offensive line. Next, we have Brandon Sheriff, and we're going to continuously pick up right guards, then move them around the line, like at right tackle or left tackle, maybe. Next, we have Shaq Mason, another right guard, 3 right guards. I'm probably going to move them around the line, 85 overall star development. Next, we have Brandon Linder. I'm pretty sure he's on the Jacksonville Jaguars, but now he's on the Cleveland Browns. 84 overall star development center. And now we are picking up some defense. Left end, Matthew Ioannidis, 79 overall star development. And next, we are picking up our middle linebacker, Raekwon McMillan, 23 years old, star development, and 74 overall. Now, I'm going to start to speed this up a little bit because you guys probably don't care, but we have Henry Ruggs here, Hunter Renfrow here as another wide receiver, Matt Breida as a backup halfback for Joe Mixon, Isaiah Simmons, middle linebacker, only normal development, but I'm going to change that, Chuck Clark here, 75 overall strong safety, Justin Tucker, kickers matter too, guys, superstar development, 87 overall, Jonathan Jones, defensive back, 76 overall, Tre'Davious Ward, 76 overall defensive back. And this draft is kind of boring. There's not really anyone going off the board from this point. So I think I'm just going to simulate into what the team looks like. But this is what the team looks like, and I'm probably just going to simulate the rest of this draft. We'll see what the team looks like afterwards. But this is what it looks like so far. Not the worst I've ever seen. But apart from that, it is time to get to the end of the draft. And here we are at the end of the draft, and this is what the team looks like. Offense is absolutely stacked. Joe Mixon is here, and he has armbar with a superstar development. Travis Kelce is also here, who has double meet in and out elite and double move elite. Hunter Renfrow probably at least star development because that's what he deserves. Not going to make him superstar, but he does deserve that. And looking into the defense, yikes. Yikes, I say. Secondary is god-awful. But yeah, that's on me for not picking up anybody in the draft. But Khalil Mack is here. Big part. Reach elite and edge threat elite with unstoppable force. And Raekwon McMillan. 2 biggest pieces in our defense with Isaiah Simmons, who I'm probably going to move to outside linebacker with star development. So I'm going to actually do that right now. So that way he just gets a boost in development and overall upgrade. And I think the linebacking core will be complete. Actually, I moved him to the wrong outside linebacker. I meant to put him out right outside linebacker. But he does jump up to a 76 overall. Well, from 74 to a 76. So it's going to be pretty good. And I'm pretty happy with that overall. And linebacking core is complete. Maybe a secondary middle linebacker could work out for us later in the future. Special teams, we don't need a punter because we have Justin Tucker. Pretty great. And apart from that, this team looks pretty set up and pretty good. And I think it would be time to get into the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a loss to the New England Patriots, as we are 5-2. That's what I like to see at the top of the division, above the Cincinnati Bengals. And we have players to resign, such as Jalen Mills from free agency. There's no one here that I really think I want. Maybe John Ross, actually. That's actually an interesting one. We have $102 million in cap, so yeah, I'm going to offer him a big long-term deal just because he's fast and he wants more money. I don't know how that really makes any sense because he's low overall, but whatever. I'll probably just give it to him later. But the team looks pretty dang good right now. John Ross, I do want to move up, make sure he's in a slot or something. He's not even in here for the specialist, so that's kind of interesting. I guess Hunter Renfrow gets the slot position, but John Ross, I'm going to move up, and apart from that, I think it would be time to get into the playoffs. And here we are in the playoffs, coming off a win to the Cincinnati Bengals division rival with a first-round bye, as the Bengals fell off really hard. And Kyler Murray had a great season, and we had the 7th best offense, 22nd best defense, though. Not a surprise there. You're looking into the yearly awards. Patrick Mahomes wins it for the Falcons, the MVP, and best QB goes to Matthew Stafford. Then Kyler Murray gets second. That was so close. Could have gotten a development upgrade there. Maybe he still will, but anyways, looking into it, Kyler Murray, again, great season. Joe Mixon, great season. Hunter Renfrow had an amazing season. Henry Ruggs had an amazing season. And Travis Kelce had 10 touchdowns as well. Tre'Davious Ward with the most tackles. Most tackles for a loss goes to 10 for Matthew Ioannidis. Sacks, 20 for Khalil Mack. 20, that's a lot. Interceptions, 2 for Raekwon McMillan. And safeties is 0. And defensive touchdowns is 1 for Cameron Sutton. But apart from that, guys, I think I'm just going to simulate this first round. Well, obviously, I'm going to need to because it's the wild card, and we got a first-round bye because we're just that cool. And the 11-5 Cleveland Browns are going to face off against the 9-7 LA Chargers. But we're going to simulate that, and if we make it to the AFC Championship, sure, I'll hop into it. But this is the first season, so it doesn't really matter too much. And we do make it here to play the 9-7 Miami Dolphins. So that's going to be a big addition and big fun. So apart from that, guys, let's jump straight into this as they have Andrew Luck. Yuck. And looking into it, it is 24-9, 24-16 in the third quarter as we are choking away the lead as they're almost within a one-score game, and they are actually 24-24 fourth quarter, big end game drive, red zone alert, 31-24, 38-24 as we start to pull away against the Miami Dolphins, 45-24 as it was neck and neck, and then we brutally beat them at the end. But apart from that, it's time to get to the Super Bowl. And here we are in the Super Bowl, here to face the 10 innings. Hopefully we can come away with the win, and the Vikings will come away with their 6th Super Bowl loss in history. Kyler Murray has superstar X Factor. That's what I love to see. First one's free, escape artist, jukebox, and clutch. First one's free on a quarterback is not that good, I will admit. Henry Ruggs, though, does also have superstar development with in-out elite, and Hunter Renfrow also has superstar development. So huge upgrades on the offense. Very well performing. And defensively, it looks like Tre'Davious Ward is now a star development, so that's pretty useful, actually. And apart from that, it is time to get into the Super Bowl round. So let's look at the team that they have. They have Saquon, Harrison Smith, and Tom Brady. Okay. And looking into the Super Bowl, it is 14-14 in the third quarter, 21-14 as we are leading, as we are driving down the field. Red zone alert, third down alert, 28-14, 21-28. Game drive, fourth quarter, third down alert for the Vikings, and they cannot convert and get a touchdown, but they're driving back down the field, and it is 28-28 with 8 seconds left. I'm going to have to jump in here. And here we are in overtime as I just won the game with Henry Ruggs, and yeah, that was pretty annoying how we had to wait that long to do it, even though the Vikings came back and pushed it to overtime. But that's going to be your ball game, 28-34, as the Cleveland Browns beat the Minnesota Vikings in the Super Bowl. And looking into it, your Super Bowl MVP is Joe Mixon with 33 carries, 135 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 11 yards was his longest carry. Doesn't really seem like that much, but it's okay. Apart from that, it's time to get into the offseason. Here we are in the offseason as the Browns win the Super Bowl to the Minnesota Vikings. We have players to resign such as Jalen Mills, and we're not going to resign anyone here other than John Ross because he's John Ross and he's fast. That's why. But other than that, he has a great offer and he resigns, he says. But other than that, looking into the team, There's obviously not going to be any development upgrades because we already looked at those in the Super Bowl. This is what the team looks like. It looks pretty good. We're about to get into free agency as well, so maybe some big names. So let's just jump straight into it. Here we are in free agency, but there's no one really here, and I'm not surprised because everyone's on a 4-year contract, but I was hoping for maybe some like star development defensive tackles, but I guess not. I guess we're going to have to wait till the draft. So other than that, guys, I think I'm just going to skip to the draft, so let's get into it. And here we are after the draft, as nothing really happened on offense because offense is absolutely stacked to the brim, and defensively we got a right end, and that's kind of about it. So apart from that, guys, I think it would be time to get into the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark as we have 2 breakout challenges for John Ross and Henry Ruggs. So I'm going to do those off camera probably and hop into those. And looking into it, the Cleveland Browns are 6-1. Great record. And we're about to face the Dallas Cowboys. We have players to resign such as Cameron Sutton and all these other players, but I don't want to resign any of these guys because there's no one important here. Nick O'Leary is here though, but I don't know about that. So I think other than that, guys, I think it would be time to get into the playoffs. So let's get into it. Here we are in the playoffs with a first-round bye, coming off a win to the LA Chargers, and we are 15-1. Are you kidding me? We were so close to going undefeated with the Browns. And looking into it, who did we lose to? We lost the Bills in Week 6. Oh, we got blown out by the Bills in Week 6. But we went 15-1. Amazing season. Looking into the stats, Kyler Murray had an amazing season. He has to be MVP. Yes, Kyler Murray is the MVP. Too bad it wasn't somebody else because he already has Superstar X Factor. Best QB also goes to Kyler Murray as well. First best offense, and defensively, we are 8th. Joe Mixon had an amazing year as well. So let's see if he had the best running back. Can I go to... Well, Coach of the Year is D. Snuts, of course. You wouldn't forget about that. But Joe Mixon, Kyler Murray, and D. Snuts are always the best. And best O-lineman, Ali Marpet won that as well. So 4 top-tier best players for in the runnings. Henry Ruggs, over 1,000 yards. Great season. Defensively, Raekwon with McMillan with most tackles for loss. 11 for Benjamin Cloud. 7.5 for Khalil Mack for sacks. Interceptions. 2 for Isaiah Simmons. And safeties goes to 0. And defensive touchdowns is 0. So apart from that, guys, I think it would be time to get into the playoffs. So let's just jump straight into that by simulating this wild card round. And who are we going to be playing? We're going to be playing the LA Chargers, who we beat in Week 17, so that's interesting. And I think we played them last year as well, so let's see if we can beat them in the divisional round to move on to the AFC Championship. Can we do it? We can. Here to face the 11-5 Houston Texans, so I'm going to definitely do that. So let's just jump straight into this one. And here we are in the third quarter as it is 17-10 as we are leading the Houston Texans in Cleveland 20-10 now. Third down alert, big field goal kick 23-10. And now we're back in the red zone 31-10. 17-31 as we continue to beat the living crap out of them. But I'm going to hop in here. But actually, I don't need to. I don't need to because I can just do that in the Super Bowl because why not? And yeah, we just beat the living crap out of them. Your final score is the Browns 31, the Texans 17. And here we are in the Super Bowl, here to face the 10-6 Atlanta Falcons, who I do remember having Patrick Mahomes as the MVP in the first season of this rebuild. And looking into the team, Joe Mixon has Superstar X Factor with first one's free armbar and leapfrog, which is pretty amazing. And so does Henry Ruggs. So I'm going to take out Kyler Murray's first one's free to change it for Joe Mixon. Henry Ruggs is here with double me. That doesn't really make sense because he's not really that big, but okay, I guess. 5'11", 188 pounds. That's cool. Defensively, whoa, our right end has Superstar X Factor. Okay, Benjamin Combs. That's pretty cool, but that's that's overall awesome. So I'm probably going to generate the best lineup, and I guess for some reason his X factor isn't popping up, but that doesn't really matter. I guess it won't make too much of a difference in the Super Bowl. But apart from that, guys, it is time to get into the second-year Super Bowl with the Cleveland Browns and the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I love hopping into the Super Bowl, so I have to show you guys this. I saw Henry Ruggs pressed up, knew that was a mistake, and then I threw a bomb, one-hand catch by Henry Ruggs, touchdown Browns. And now going into the simulation again, I'm going to hop straight back in because, I feel like it. And we are in the red zone once again. I'm going to throw this. I need to double up on that man because I'm going to roll out. Actually, I can take this. They have a QB spot, but he's not fast enough. Touchdown, Kyler Murray, number 1. And here we are in the fourth quarter. Gonna take the final kneel down. 28-21 is your final score in the Super Bowl. And there it is. Your Cleveland Browns win the Super Bowl once again, and this time against the Atlanta Falcons in the second year against Patrick Mahomes. So that's pretty cool. And again, Cleveland Browns Super Bowl champions, second Super Bowl in a row, and second Super Bowl of all time in history. So let's look into the MVP. Your Super Bowl MVP is Kyler Murray, 315 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 79.3% completion rates. And yeah, that's probably going to be it. Not for the video, but just for the season. And apart from that, it is time to get into the offseason. Here we are in the offseason as the Browns beat the Atlanta Falcons in the Super Bowl. And we have players to re-sign, such as Cameron Sutton and all these players. But again, don't really have any interest in any of these guys. So apart from that, we're just going to look into the team to see what's up, to see overall how amazing these players are. And oh my god, he has Agile Extender and he has Human Joystick now. Human Joystick is insane. I didn't using that. I was wondering why I was able to move so fast. But yeah, let's get into the draft. And here we are after free agency is what I meant to say. And not too much on offense. And really just some random backup O-lineman. That's kind of about it. I need to change Kyler Murray's first one free. And you swap it out to Henry Ruggs double me real quick. And defensively, we didn't really do much other than get some star development defensive tackles, which I was looking for. But we still need to upgrade secondary, so let's get into the draft. And here we are after the draft, as we didn't really do much on offense because it's already too stacked. But defensively, we did get a defensive back to help out our secondary. That's really about it with this team. So I think it would be time to get into the midseason mark. So let's get into it. And here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a bye week, as we are about to play the 5-2 Kansas City Chiefs, as we are 4-3, second in the division, below the Cincinnati Bengals. And we have players to resign, such as Justin Tucker here, which is interesting, and Jonathan Jones, and all these bunch of random players here. So I'm going to start resigning them, actually. Justin Tucker, I'm not even going to let him slip to free agency, even if I can get him cheaper. Just going to make sure he stays. He does resign. Chardavius Ward is here as well. I have so much money that it doesn't even matter, and this is the third season anyways. So I'm just going to continuously keep resigning these people, and Chuck Clark is here as well. And does he resign? He wants more money. Julian Love is here as well. Let's see if he resigns. He wants more money as well. Jernard Avery, sure, and all these other random players. Sure, I'll just do it maybe later. It doesn't really matter because I have all this money because of the fantasy draft, so that's pretty cool. But apart from that, it is time to get into the playoffs. But before we get into the playoffs, I'm making some moves here. A first-round pick and our middle linebacker for the Redskins' first-round pick. Next, we are trading our first-round pick again and Matt Breida for a first-round pick from the Baltimore Ravens. And now we're trading our first-round pick, Jernard Avery, and our second-string left tackle for Jamal Adams from the Rams to improve that secondary very, very much. Thank you, sir. Now, here we are in the playoffs with a first-round bye coming off a win to the Pittsburgh Steelers, as we are 11-5 at the top of the division. Kyler Murray had, again, another great year just to see if he was the best. Josh Allen won an MVP, and Kyler Murray got second for MVP. Coach of the Year, D. Snuts at number 7. And AFC best QB goes to Josh Allen, Kyler Murray number 2. Joe Mixon, though, did get best halfback, so that's pretty cool. And first best offense and defensively, we were 11th. Joe Mixon, again, had another great year. Kyler Murray, great year. Joe Mixon, great year. Henry Ruggs, great year again. And defensively, Raekwon McMillan with the most tackles. The most tackles for a loss goes to 10 for Matthew Ioannidis. Sacks, 12 for Benjamin Combs. 3 interceptions for Isaiah Simmons. Safeties is 0, and offensive touchdowns is 0. So apart from that, guys, I'm going to simulate this wild card round, obviously, because we have 3 first-round buys in a row. If we win 4 Super Bowls in a row, I will freak out. But I'm just going to simulate to the AFC Championship like always. And for the 3rd time in a row, we are here to play the LA Chargers in the divisional round to move on to the AFC Championship. Can we do it? We do not, as the Chargers beat us finally. 3rd time's the charm. The Chargers finally beat us. So I guess let's get into the offseason. Now, here we are in the offseason as the Chargers lose the Super Bowl to the Green Bay Packers 34-31. We have players to resign here, such as Chuck Clark and Julian Love, but I don't need Chuck Clark or Julian Love anymore. Probably can pick them up cheaper. I'm going to focus on bigger things in the draft, and we also just got Jamal Adams, but looking into the team to see what we have. Offense is obviously stacked, and defensively is stacked. Defense is stacked as well with 3 superstar X factors on both sides of the ball at least. And apart from that, it's time to get into free agency. And once again, free agency, there's no one really here that I want to sign, so I'm not going to sign anybody. And yeah, I think it would be time to get into the draft as well, so let's get into it. And after the draft, this is what the team is going to look like in the 4th and final season. This has been a great rebuild. I know I have been enjoying it very, very much. Hope you guys are too, as John Ross is a star development defensively. Looks pretty great overall. Picked up a defensive tackle in the draft. But apart from that, guys, I think it would be time to get into the midseason mark. And screw the midseason mark. I just simulated to the playoffs because who needs the midseason mark when it's the final season? We're not going to re-sign anybody anyways, but we are 13-3. Kyler Murray with another standout season. Best offense in the NFL. Let's see if he won the MVP. No, Patrick Mahomes did. Kyler Murray came in second for his 3rd time. D. Snuts, best coach, apparently. And best QB goes to Kyler Murray, though, so that's pretty cool. And let's look at the best running back. Joe Mixon gets it for his 3rd time. Amazing. Very glad I picked him up instead of any other halfback. And apart from that, looking at the coach goals, he's not even elected into the Hall of Fame yet. What do you even mean, dude? D. Snuts has won Coach of the Year twice and has been in the running all 4 years and has won 2 Super Bowls and been in the playoffs, been in the divisional round 3 times, bro. Come on now. Henry Ruggs, great season. Defensively, Raekwon McMillan with the most tackles. Most tackles for a loss, 15 for Matthew Ioannidis. Sacks, 14 for Khalil Mack. Interceptions is 3 for Joseph Huntington. Defensive back. Safety 0 and defensive touchdowns 1 for Khalil Mack. And apart from that, guys, I think it would be time to get into this divisional round. I'm going to simulate the divisional round because I can. And I ended up simulating to the Super Bowl because, yeah, I didn't even play any of it. I simulated to the Super Bowl. If you guys saw in that last clip, I meant to say simulate to the Super Bowl, not to the divisional round, because yeah, it's the final season. It doesn't matter. We already won 2 Super Bowls. So let's see if we can win our 3rd Super Bowl, not in a row, sadly, but win our 3rd Super Bowl of this rebuild. That'd be pretty insane. I'm thinking about as Davis Ward has superstar development, strip specialist. I'm thinking about doing a fantasy draft like series, doing like a relocation franchise. But apart from that, let's just jump straight into this, as they have Saquon Barkley, Harrison Smith, and Odell Beckham. Okay. Now, this is a highlight play, I would say, definitely from this game. Very, very excited for these kinds of plays. I'm going to roll out with Kyler Murray. Whenever I do that double team on the left side, it usually means I roll out with Kyler Murray. So, yeah, let's see what we have here. As I roll out with Kyler Murray, I'm too fast. They can't catch me, and I dive for the end zone. He barely makes it. Touchdown, Browns, 14-14, all tied up in the second quarter. Now, this is some play that I swatted down. It was 4th down. They had to go for it in the 4th quarter. They didn't quite make it, but I'm going to hop in here just to have more fun, as their quarterback is Jake Fromm, which is kind of interesting. And looking into it, I saw this right here with Henry Ruggs on the slants, and then he breaks one tackle, makes one miss, and then off to the races he goes. Foot race, touchdown, Henry Ruggs with a showboat in there at the end. And your Super Bowl champions for the 3rd time are the Cleveland Browns, 35-21, as the Minnesota Vikings lose 7 Super Bowls. Dang, that really sucks. Doesn't even have one. And your Super Bowl MVP is Kyler Murray with 232 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 78.3% completion rate, similar to his previous MVP win. But apart from that, it is time to get into the offseason. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this rebuild. I know I did. This was by far my most favorite rebuild. It came from a division rival, which is kind of yuck because the Ravens are my favorite team. But I thought it would be funny just to do the Browns with D. Snuts as our head coach. And this team is overall stacked. Defense may not be there, but offense is most definitely there. Offense wins championships, guys, in Madden simulation, so make sure you guys remember that. I know I will for future reference. But apart from that, guys, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.